I believe God wants us to gamble. Let me explain. In the second chapter of the book of Philippians in the Bible, Paul talks about this individual that came to visit him named Epaphroditus. He was sent to him from the Philippian church to care for his needs, to encourage him when he was lonely, to make sure he was fed and clothed and taken care of. And then Paul sent Epaphroditus back to the Philippian church with the letter that we read today, most likely. And he gave him a few words of exhortation, of explaining to the church that this is the kind of individual that you sent to me, and how thankful he was for the character of this guy. This is what he said, continuing in verse 28 of chapter 2. Therefore, I am all the more eager to send him, so that when you see him again, you may be glad and I may have less anxiety. Welcome him in the Lord with great joy, and honor men like him, because he almost died for the work of Christ, risking his life to make up for the help you could not give me. Now, I looked up that word risk in the original language, the Greek, and what I discovered was it's a gambling word. It's actually means to stake everything on the roll of a dice. And Epaphroditus would risk his life, Paul's saying, to gamble his life away because he cared for him so much and because he believed in this God that he followed. And then I did some more research and I discovered that there was actually this whole section of the early Christian church 2,000 years ago that were known as the gamblers. These individuals were known for that because they would go places no one else would go. They would care for people no one else could care less for. They would go into cities that were wreaked by plague and illness, and they would carry out the bodies so the plague wouldn't continue to spread. They would visit individuals in prison. They did the unthinkable. They cared for people recklessly. They risked their lives. They gambled for the sake of their God. Now, I'm sitting around this poker table a few nights ago, and I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But God, I own a bottle of Perel. I don't know anyone that's in prison. How do I live this out? And then I started realizing that love, in its greatest form, in its original intention that God designed it to be, love itself is a gamble. Like, we all have those different people in our lives that, for whatever reason, they're placed in our lives and most likely we'll never get anything back in return. I mean, loving them is a one-way street. And it's a gamble. I mean, every time we open ourselves up to another individual, we share who we really are inside, we're risking this idea, we're gambling with the idea of what if we get rejected? What if they put us down? What if they never return our phone call? Loving people is a gamble. When we forgive, that's certainly a gamble. Like, to let it go, even though they betrayed us, even though they lied, even though they said those things and didn't even seem sorry for it. What if we forgive and they don't even appreciate it? What if they just hurt us all over again? To love is a gamble. So why do it? Because the tendency, right, is we get hurt one too many times and we cash in our chips and we get up from the table because this game we are playing is far too dangerous. I mean, in poker terms, they call that a bad beat. And isn't it true that we remember the hurts in our lives far longer than the loves? They linger with us, don't they? They haunt us even. So why gamble? Why love? Do you want me to tell you? I could, but it has the possibility of changing you. It has the potential of ruining you. We gamble because God gambled on us. 2,000 years ago, He sent His only Son, named Jesus, to this world in a very unremarkable town, a very unremarkable time of of our era. And there he lived an average life, put together a handful of nobodies, performed some unsubstantiated miracles, and then eventually he died as a common criminal. Just for the chance, just a chance that you might hear. And when you heard, it would change you forever. It would alter your soul in such a way that you could no longer live the same way ever again. Just a chance. The book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 8, actually speaks of this kind of love. When it says, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. While I was some punk kid, while I had absolutely nothing to offer this world, while I hated, while I lied, while I hurt, Christ died for me. That's not the only reason why we gamble. We also gamble, we also love, we also serve, we give, we forgive, we love again. Because every once in a while, the gamble pays off. The life we pour into, we see the fruit of that labor. Every once in a while, the gamble pays off. I actually invite you to join us for this upcoming message series we're calling To Be Continued. And we're calling it that because we believe life to live in its fullest, the way the Bible talks about, the way God so wants us to live, this inspired life, is one when we pour into the lives of others. When we give, we serve, we love, we love recklessly, we give generously, we serve extravagantly. And we watch as people's lives are changed. And we'll ask really hard questions of each other. We'll ask, what are you leaving behind? Whose life are you really pouring into? How will this world be different because of your mark in it? I want to invite you to this series. I'm really excited for what God might do. I'd love for you to join us around this table with other gamblers that have decided to love recklessly, to put our chips in, and to see what God might do. We'll see you then.